If you are thinking about moving to Texas in 2026, the landscape has changed, the housing market has shifted, and the best places to live aren't what they used to be. If you caught my video from a year ago about the best places to live in Texas, you know I warned you about the California invasion and the pricing surge. Well, that's why I made this updated guide for this year. I moved beyond the hype of Austin and Dallas to find the suburbs and cities that offer the best quality of life, safety, and ROI for you. I count down the top 10 best places to live in Texas. I've covered everything from the affordable to the high-growth energy and the hidden luxury. For each location, I'll break down the real numbers: median home price, average rent, and household income. But also dive into the vibe, the best neighborhoods to watch, and the major downsides that real estate agents won't tell you. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is the affordable anchor of the South, San Antonio. And if you watched my old video, you know I've always had a soft spot for the Alamo City. But the dynamic here has shifted as we hit 2026, because while Austin prices pushed people out, San Antonio caught them with a median home price that is still sitting pretty around $324,000, which is practically free compared to the rest of this list. The median income is lower at $62,000, and rents are averaging $1,922. But the Puro vibe here remains undefeated. It's a city that runs on taco time, where nobody is in a rush and the culture is a mix of military discipline and hill country relaxation that you just can't manufacture. You've got historic neighborhoods like Alamo Heights for the old money crowd and Stone Oak for the gated community lovers. But you have to be careful because the locals are very vocal about where not to go. For newcomers, while the north is safe, you need to watch your back on the east side near the AT&T Center, noting that petty crime all the way to murders can be an issue in specific pockets, and even parts of the medical center have shady apartments you should avoid. The major con here is the stark income inequality and the sprawl. You can drive for an hour and still be in San Antonio. Number 9 is where the West begins, Fort Worth. And I have to highlight this again because people in the comments of the last video kept calling it a Dallas suburb. Do not do that unless you want to fight. Fort Worth has grown into the 12th largest city in the U.S. by 2026, offering a cowtown culture that is infinitely more authentic and laid back than its glitzy neighbor to the east, all while offering a median home price in the $350,000 range and rents around $1,250. It feels like a place where a museum curator and a rodeo clown could be best friends. With neighborhoods like the historic Tanglewood holding value and the near South Side offering that trendy, walkable bungalow lifestyle that young singles crave. But you need to listen to the locals on the ground who know the city block by block. The Las Vegas Trail area is a suburban ghetto that doesn't look like it at first glance, but has some of the highest crime rates in the city. So don't let the cheap rental prices there fool you. The major downside is that the infrastructure is absolutely choking on its own growth, especially if you are commuting on I-35W, but the locals deal with it by laughing at Dallasites. As the old joke goes, in Dallas they call it sushi, in Fort Worth we call it bait. Sliding in at number 8 is the hill country boomtown New Braunfels, which has transformed from the sleepy German town I talked about years ago into a full-blown super suburb connecting Austin and San Antonio. The vibe is a permanent vacation with Wurstfest and Gruene Hall anchoring the social scene, and neighborhoods like Vintage Oaks offering resort-style living. The prices have jumped to a median of $365,000, with rents at $1,467. But the median income is a surprising $125,000, thanks to all the remote workers bringing their big city salaries to this river tubing paradise. But there is a very specific physical risk you need to know about is, don't buy a house in this area unless it's had the foundation leveled. Stay off the black clay east of I-35. It's all mud. You want to build on limestone. The major con here is the tourism fatigue. In the summer, your grocery store is packed with tourists in swimsuits and the traffic is gridlocked, leading locals to treat anyone with California plates like they're carrying a contagion until they prove they know how to pronounce Gruene correctly. Number 7 is the pragmatic choice, Round Rock, which has solidified its reputation as the place you move when you want the Austin tech job, but you actually want your kids to have a yard. With a median home price of $450,000, rents around $1,713, and a solid median income of $97,000, it's the sports capital of Texas that focuses on efficiency over coolness, offering massive parks like Old Settlers and reliable utilities that boring adults love. You've got executive neighborhoods like Forest Creek and the massive Terra Vista, but the local sentiment has shifted from up and coming to crowded, and the locals are honest about the lifestyle trade-off. The downsides, Round Rock is pretty boring. Lots of chain restaurants that are same old, same old. It's just another generic suburb. While the traffic on A.W. Grimes, let's just say it's a pretty dangerous road. The major con is that I-35 remains a parking lot that steals your soul. You are technically 15 miles from Austin, but traffic-wise, you live 2 hours away. At number 6, we have the safe haven of Collin County. It's Allen, which serves as the middle child between Plano and McKinney, but has carved out a niche as the family fortress of North Texas. The financials here are getting tighter in 2026, with median homes hitting $500,000 and rents hovering near $1,800, supported by a wealthy median income of $129,000. But you are paying for the safety and the insanely competitive high school sports culture. Neighborhoods like Twin Creeks and Star Creek are the gold standard for families. But if you are single, you need to heed the warning of the locals who describe the social scene as non-existent. If you don't have kids in sports, you are socially invisible. The major con is that aggressive boredom I mentioned. You will be driving to Dallas for any real nightlife. And since the city spent $60 million on a high school football stadium, if your kid isn't on the varsity team, you might actually be legally required to move out. Number 5 takes us down to the Houston Metro with Sugar Land, the jewel of Fort Bend, which has evolved into one of the most culturally diverse and educated cities in the entire country. The value proposition is still strong with median homes around $450,000, rents at $1,939, and a high median income of $137,000, creating a cosmopolitan suburbia where cricket pitches sit next to baseball diamonds and the food scene is absolutely incredible. And you want to look at Telfair for modern luxury or Sweetwater for that established country club feel, but you have to be ready for the climate and the bubble mentality. The reality of living here, insanely high property taxes, and the fact that the heat makes the city literally a nightmare to walk or bike in, forcing everyone into their cars. The major con is the commute into Houston on US 59, which is a soul-crushing grind, and I think you need a passport to enter Sugar Land. Not because of the diversity, but because the residents act like they are a sovereign nation that is too good for the rest of Houston. Number 4 is the ecological standard, the Woodlands, which has fully matured now from a bedroom community into a corporate powerhouse hidden behind a pine curtain. It's expensive with median prices over $545,000 and rents pushing $2,000, but people pay it for the invisible city vibe, where strict laws keep every commercial sign hidden behind trees, creating a resort-like atmosphere that feels 10 degrees cooler than the concrete jungle of Houston. Carlton Woods is where the CEOs live, and Creekside Park is where the younger families are flocking. But beneath the perfection, there are some local gripes you need to hear. Locals warned newcomers about the aggressive traffic enforcement, saying, "Don't speed on Woodlands PKY." Speed is a relative term on Woodlands Raceway, And despite the safety, there is hidden crime at the mall that gets swept under the rug to protect the town's image. The major con is the Truman Show feeling of living in a bubble that is disconnected from reality, and the humidity in the forest means you will be fighting a constant war against mold and mosquitoes. Number 3 is the hype beast of North Texas, Frisco, and since my last video, this place has gone from growing to exploded, cementing its status as Sports City USA with the Cowboys, the PGA, and now the Universal Kids Resort. It is a high-stakes game here with median home values approaching $688,000 and a median income of $141,000, driven by an unapologetic ambition where everyone seems to be driving a luxury SUV to a power lunch. You've got the new ultra-luxury, the Fields development, and the gated Newman Village. But the social atmosphere can be polarizing as the keeping up with the Joneses culture. While the diversity is huge, there are stereotypes about different communities not mixing, and the city feels like it was designed with the goal of trying to create a sanctuary for rich people with no character. The major con is the sheer cost of living and the soulless feel of endless concrete and glass. Here, the Frisco State bird is the construction crane, and the official sport is competitive parenting. Number 2 is the best of both worlds, McKinney. You move to Frisco to impress your boss. You move to McKinney to impress your in-laws. It manages to balance the insane growth of its neighbor Frisco with a historic charm that actually feels like Texas. McKinney is great and has great amenities and decent shopping. It's close to major freeways, 45 minutes from DFW, close to the back roads, far away from Dallas, got good schools. The numbers are slightly more accessible with median homes in the $480,000 range and rents around $1,412, making it a favorite for families earning that $120,000 median income who want trees and a downtown square instead of just strip malls. Here, Stonebridge Ranch is the massive master-planned community everyone wants into, and Tucker Hill offers that front porch of new urbanism. But if you are young and single, you need to listen to locals. They warned, do not move to McKinney if you are single. The dating pool here is extremely limited. Your only choice is your coworker, which is a brutal but necessary truth. The major con is the traffic on US 380, which locals call the highway of death due to the gridlock and accidents. But the trade-off is a lifestyle that feels grounded. And finally, the number 1 best place to live in Texas 6 is Flower Mound, simply because they have mastered the end game of suburban living by refusing to over-commercialize and focusing intensely on quality of life and safety. It's safe, it's quiet, crime is low, the police force is professional and on point. It's elite territory with median homes over $620,000, rents at $1,642, and a staggering median income of $216,000, offering a country estate in the city vibe, where the trees are protected by law and the town sits right on the shores of Grapevine Lake. And you want to be in Bridlewood for the equestrian feel or Wellington for the amenities, but you have to accept the reality that this town is designed to be quiet. As my local friend so eloquently put it, I'm bored as hell here. There's no nightlife. I wouldn't recommend Flower Mound to anyone without kids, but admitted the schools kick ass, and it's the perfect place to raise a family. Schools are some of the best in the state, very suburban, lots of white, Indian, and Asian families trying to keep it all going. The only con is that aggressive boredom and the lack of nightlife. But for the people who live here, that's the point. It's a sanctuary, leading to the local stereotype that everyone here is either an airline pilot or an executive who complains about new development despite living in a new development themselves. Look, the best place is different for everyone. If you want the hustle, go to Frisco. If you want the trees, go to the Woodlands. If you want tacos and history, go to San Antonio. But if you want the ultimate balance of safety, wealth, and quality of life, Flower Mound takes the crown. Which one of these would you actually pack up and move to? Or did I miss your hidden place? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. Don't forget to like and subscribe to U.S. Historians for more deep dives into where you should put your roots down. I'll see you in the next one. The grass is greener where you water it, or where the HOA fees are $200 a month.